What if I told you there's a country where people pay no income tax, fuel can cost less than bottled water, healthcare is almost free, and some license plates are worth more than luxury supercars? It sounds like paradise, but behind the wealth, safety, and stability lies a reality that surprises almost everyone who visits. This is the real life of Brunei in 2026. Number 15. The richest country you almost never hear about. What if I told you one of the richest countries on earth is a place most people could barely find on a map? Welcome to Brunei, a small nation of just over 460,000 people on the island of Borneo, yet one of the wealthiest countries in Southeast Asia. In 2026, Brunei continues to enjoy one of the region's highest GDP per capita figures, thanks to its vast oil and natural gas reserves. For many citizens, life comes with benefits that sound almost unreal. There is no personal income tax. Public health care is heavily subsidized. Education is largely funded by the government. Fuel prices remain among the lowest in the world. From the outside, Brunei looks like a country that has figured everything out. Yet despite its wealth, most people rarely hear about it. There are no massive tourist crowds, no global media spotlight, and no race to become the next international hotspot. Brunei has chosen a different path, one built on stability, tradition, and quiet prosperity. But here's where the story becomes interesting. Because behind the comfort and wealth lies a lifestyle that feels very different from what most people expect. And for some, that difference is exactly what makes Brunei special. Number 14, a place where you keep every dollar you earn. Imagine, just for a second, getting your paycheck and not seeing a single dollar taken out for income tax. For millions of people around the world, that probably sounds impossible. But in Brunei, it's actually reality. Unlike most countries, Brunei doesn't charge personal income tax. Whether you're a teacher, an engineer, or, even a business owner, your salary just goes straight into your pocket. There's also no VAT or GST on everyday purchases, so the price you see is usually the price you pay. For a lot of families, this kind of thing creates a level of financial comfort that's really hard to imagine anywhere else. People can save more, spend more, and they just don't have to worry so much about tax bills. But there is a reason Brunei can afford such a generous system. The country's economy has long been supported by oil and natural gas, which account for the majority of export earnings and government revenue. Instead of collecting large amounts of money from citizens, the government uses resource wealth to fund public services and national development. It sounds like the perfect arrangement, but it also raises an important question. What happens when an entire nation depends on resources that won't last forever? Because even in one of the world's wealthiest countries, the future is never guaranteed. Number 13, a country that takes care of you from birth to old age. What if getting sick didn't mean worrying about medical bills? And what if earning a university degree didn't leave you buried in debt? In Brunei, that's the reality for many citizens. The country's welfare system is one of the most generous in Southeast Asia. Public health care is heavily subsidized, allowing citizens to receive medical treatment at very low cost. In some cases, when specialized treatment is unavailable locally, patients may even be sent overseas for care. Education is another major benefit. From primary school to university, much of the cost is covered by the government. High-achieving students can even receive scholarships to study abroad in countries such as the United Kingdom, Australia, and Singapore. These benefits have helped create a society where many people grow up with opportunities that others around the world can only dream of. But behind this comfort lies a deeper reality. The system depends heavily on revenue from oil and gas. For decades, those resources have funded everything from hospitals to schools and public services. As long as the wealth continues to flow, the system works remarkably well. But for a country of fewer than 500,000 people, one question continues to quietly linger in the background. Can this model last forever in a rapidly changing world? Essays number 12, where fuel is cheaper than water. Imagine stopping at a gas station and discovering that filling your tank costs less than buying a few bottles of water. In most countries, that sounds impossible. In Brunei, it's surprisingly normal. Thanks to the country's vast oil and natural gas wealth, fuel prices remain among the lowest in the world. In 2026, a liter of gasoline can cost only a fraction of what drivers pay in Europe, North America, or even many neighboring Asian countries. As a result, cars are everywhere. Brunei has one of the highest vehicle ownership rates in Southeast Asia, with hundreds of cars for every 1,000 residents. For many families, owning multiple vehicles is completely normal. Driving is so affordable that public transportation never became a major part of daily life. There are no subway systems, and buses play only a limited role compared to many modern cities. The entire country has been shaped around the convenience of the automobile, but cheap fuel has created an unexpected side effect. Walking is uncommon. Many visitors are surprised by how quiet the streets can feel, even during the day. In a country where driving is often easier than walking, daily life moves in a very different rhythm, and that rhythm reveals something important about Brunei. When comfort becomes the norm, it can quietly reshape the way an entire society lives. Number 11. A country not built for nightlife. What does life look like when the sun goes down? In many countries, the night is just beginning. Restaurants fill up, bars come alive, and city streets remain busy long after dark. But Brunei is different. As evening arrives, much of the country becomes remarkably quiet. There are no nightclubs, no public bars, and very little of the nightlife culture that exists in many parts of the world. Instead, people often spend their evenings with family, close friends, or at local cafes and restaurants. For some residents, this peaceful environment is one of Brunei's greatest strengths. Crime rates remain low, neighborhoods feel safe, and families enjoy a strong sense of community. But not everyone sees it the same way. Many foreign workers and visitors describe Brunei as calm, comfortable, and secure, but also surprisingly quiet. Those who are used to the energy of cities like Bangkok, Singapore, or Kuala Lumpur may find the slower pace difficult to adapt to. This creates an interesting contrast. Brunei offers many of the financial benefits people dream about, yet some newcomers discover that excitement cannot be measured by money alone, because sometimes the things people miss most aren't luxury or wealth. They're the simple experiences that make a place feel alive. And nowhere is that contrast more visible than in the extraordinary life of Brunei's royal family. Number 10. Behind the palaces and the luxury. When most people hear the word Brunei, one image often comes to mind: the Sultan. For decades, Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah has been one of the most recognizable monarchs in the world. His official residence, Istana Nurul Iman, is widely known as the largest residential palace on Earth, containing nearly 1,800 rooms and covering more than 200,000 square meters. Stories about luxury cars, grand ceremonies, and royal wealth have helped shape Brunei's image for generations. But here's what many people don't realize. The real story of Brunei isn't just about palaces, it's about the ordinary people living beyond them. While the royal family represents the nation's wealth, most citizens experience that prosperity in different ways. Through subsidized healthcare, affordable education, modern infrastructure, and a level of stability that many countries struggle to achieve. Unlike some resource-rich nations where wealth is concentrated in a few hands, Brunei has used much of its oil and gas revenue to support public services and improve living standards. As a result, many people enjoy comfortable lives without ever living anything close to royal luxury. Because in Brunei, the greatest symbol of wealth isn't always what you see inside the palace walls. Sometimes it's the quiet sense of security that exists outside them. And nowhere is that more visible than in one of the most unusual communities in the entire country. Number 9. The water village that refused to disappear. Long before modern roads, shopping malls, and skyscrapers arrived in Brunei, people were already building their lives on the water. And remarkably, many still do. Stretching along the Brunei River is Kampong Ayer, often called the Venice of the East. This vast water settlement has existed for more than 1,000 years and remains home to thousands of residents today. At first glance, it looks like a collection of wooden houses standing above the river. But look closer and you'll discover an entire community. There are schools, mosques, clinics, shops, and even fire stations connected by a network of wooden walkways. Electricity, clean water, and internet access have transformed what was once a traditional settlement into a unique blend of old and new. For generations, families here have grown up with the river as part of everyday life. Boats replace cars, and the water serves as both a road and a gathering place. What makes Kampong Ayer so fascinating is that it survived modernization. While many traditional communities around the world disappeared as cities expanded, this one adapted and endured. It stands as a reminder that progress doesn't always mean leaving the past behind. Sometimes it means finding a way for the past and the future to live side by side. And in Brunei, that balance can be seen not only in where people live, but also in how they treat one another every single day. The small gestures that say everything. What if a simple gesture you use every day was considered rude? In Brunei, respect is more than a social expectation. It's part of everyday life. Visitors are often surprised to learn that pointing with an index finger can be seen as impolite. Instead, many locals use their thumb to indicate direction, a small gesture that reflects humility and courtesy. At first, it may seem like a minor detail, but these customs reveal something much deeper about Brunei and society. Respect is woven into daily interactions, from the way people greet each other to the way they speak in public. Maintaining harmony is often valued more than drawing attention to yourself. This cultural mindset helps create an environment that feels calm and orderly. Conflicts are often handled quietly, and public behavior tends to be more reserved than in many Western countries. For visitors, adjusting to these unwritten rules can take time, but many leave with the same impression. In a world that often feels louder and faster every year, Brunei remains a place where politeness still carries real weight. And those values become even more visible when you look at the laws that help shape life across the country. Because in Brunei, respect is encouraged not only by culture, but also by one of the most structured legal systems in the region. Number 7, the price of perfect safety. What does it take to become one of the safest countries in the world? In Brunei, safety is something people rarely have to think about. Many residents feel comfortable walking through their neighborhoods late at night. Violent crime rates remain low, and the country consistently ranks among the safest places in Southeast Asia. For families, this sense of security is one of Brunei's greatest advantages. But safety doesn't happen by accident. It is supported by a legal system that places a strong emphasis on order, responsibility, and social stability. The country maintains strict regulations in many areas of public life, reflecting values that have been shaped by tradition, religion, and national identity. Supporters argue that these rules help create the peaceful environment that Brunei is known for today. Critics, however, sometimes question whether greater security can come with limitations that might feel unfamiliar to people from other parts of the world. And that raises an interesting question. How much freedom would you be willing to trade for stability? For many Bruneians, the answer is simple. The safety, predictability, and peace of mind they experience every day make that trade worthwhile. Because in a world where uncertainty often feels normal, Brunei has chosen a different path, one built on order, security, and tradition. And perhaps nowhere is that commitment to public well-being more visible than in the country's fight against smoking. Number 6. A country where cigarettes almost disappeared. Imagine living in a place where seeing someone smoke has become increasingly rare. In Brunei, that reality has been taking shape for years. The government has implemented some of the strictest tobacco regulations in the region. Cigarette sales are heavily restricted. Tobacco products face high import duties, and smoking is prohibited in many public areas. As a result, smoking has become far less visible than in many neighboring countries. For visitors, one of the first things they notice is the absence of cigarette smoke in restaurants, parks, and public spaces. The air feels cleaner, and public areas often appear remarkably well maintained. Supporters view this as a major public health success. By discouraging smoking, Brunei hopes to reduce long-term health risks and improve quality of life for future generations. Of course, not everyone agrees on how far governments should go in regulating personal habits. But there is no denying the results. Brunei has created an environment where healthier lifestyles are actively encouraged, and where public health often takes priority over commercial interests. It's another example of how this small nation approaches life differently from much of the world. And while many countries use money to display status, Brunei has developed a much more unusual symbol of prestige, one that can be attached to the front of a car. Number 5. A passport that opens doors around the world. For billions of people, international travel often begins with paperwork, visa applications, and long waiting periods. But for many Bruneians, the experience is very different. Despite being one of the smallest countries on Earth, Brunei holds one of the most respected passports in the world. In 2026, Bruneian citizens can travel to more than 160 countries and territories with visa-free or visa-on-arrival access. That includes many of the world's most influential nations across Europe, Asia, and North America. For a country with fewer than 500,000 people, that's an extraordinary level of global trust. What's even more remarkable is how Brunei achieved it. Not through military power, not through a massive economy, but through decades of political stability, diplomatic neutrality, and strong international relationships. This gives Bruneians something many travelers dream about: freedom of movement, the ability to explore the world with fewer barriers and fewer restrictions. Yet here's the interesting part. While their passport makes it easy to leave, many Bruneians choose to stay. Because for them, the safety, stability, and quality of life at home are already difficult to replace. But if you think that's impressive, wait until you see one of the strangest status symbols in the country. In Brunei, sometimes a small piece of metal can be worth more than a luxury sports car. Number 4, when a license plate costs more than a supercar. How much would you pay for a number? In most countries, a license plate is simply a legal requirement. In Brunei, it can be a symbol of status, influence, and prestige. The shorter the number, the more valuable it becomes. Single-digit and double-digit license plates are among the most sought-after possessions in the country. At special auctions, rare plates have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes costing more than the luxury vehicles they are attached to. To outsiders, it might seem difficult to understand. Why spend so much money on a few numbers? But in Brunei, these plates represent far more than transportation. They are symbols of success, exclusivity, and social recognition. Some are treated almost like valuable investments, passed down through families, or resold years later for even higher prices. It's a fascinating reminder that wealth is expressed differently in every society. In some places, people collect watches. In others, they buy mansions. And in Brunei, a small piece of metal on the front of a car can quietly say